Hey, welcome to 4 Accelerator, another episode of Age of Empires random map replays. So I got another replay here. Uh, let's just jump right in. I got one playing the Byzantines. There it is. It was a random enemy, but it happened to be the Spanish again. It's a tiny 2-player on hard, slow speed. So let's load up the replay. So I want to do view lock. So once again, I start by having 2 villagers build one house, one villager building another house. I send 1 cattle to the town center, and I set the town center to queue up villagers on that cattle. I start scouting with a couple of the other cattle and my scout. I send these villagers back right away to harvest that cattle, and we're off to the races. So I'm still scouting with these other cattle, scouting with my scout, send it off in a different direction to keep exploring black parts of the map. My town center is pumping out villagers, but it's auto-queued to send them right to shepherding or cattle herding. And right now we've got 5. We're going to go up to 6 as per usual. And then we're going to send the next one over to wood. And I want to send back 1 cattle because the existing one is, or the existing carcass is going to decay soon and be harvested completely. Scout's still scouting. Alright, so we send 1 villager over to wood. We want to explore with that cattle. I think, yeah, we have that villager just idling, but there we go. We got the lumber mill up. So a little bit of inefficiency already, but... and we're going to set the next villager over to chop wood. And we want to get 4 on the wood line, I think. Alright, I'm going to send this cattle back. I'm going to keep the scout moving. Set waypoints by shift right clicking. I found my boar down here. And I found my sheep. And I could use them to scout around a little bit more, but I think I just send them right back to the town center. So I've got 6 on food, 4 on wood. And the next villager out I want to lure the boar with. There's another boar over there. So I'm going to drag the boar back to the town center. These villagers are going to mostly finish harvesting before the boar gets there, which is just about the right time for it. And then I send a couple back to harvest the rest of that cow. Then I send a villager out to build a house, because I don't want to get housed, and I want a villager to build a mill on the berries. I want the other villager to help out and go straight for those berries afterwards. Still scouting with the cavalry. Setting waypoints for it. I tend to set a lot of waypoints. It's probably better if you go back to the scout repeatedly and micro it a little bit more. But if I do that, I can focus on my economy and not worry too much about the scout sitting idle. So I'm sending 4 to berries right now. I've got 3 right now. Still working on villagers from the town center. So I've got 7 on boar. I'm luring my second boar now because that was about empty. Hopefully it gets finished right around the time that the boar gets there, and it does. Yep. And 4 on berries. Then I've got this other villager coming out. I want to build another house, I think. There we go. And the scout stopped moving. I'd like to keep the scout moving. Then I send this villager out to start another lumber camp over there, a separate camp so that they can't both get raided. And I want to send 4 or 5 villagers over that way. Keep the scout moving. By the way, I'm playing the Byzantines, and the reason for this is in the last episode I showed a scout rush into knights, and I was playing the Berbers, who have an advantage to that because they get cheaper scouts and knights from their stables. But I wanted to show that the strategy can be done with any civ, even a civ that doesn't have a particular bonus to it, like the Byzantines. And a reason I like playing the Byzantines is I like playing with cavalry, but you have all those pesky spearmen, pikemen, halberdiers that you want to counter, and the Byzantine cataphract is actually good for countering infantry, so you can keep playing with cavalry, you can build knights and cataphracts, and that's all you need to have a good military force against just about anything. Then just build some siege for buildings. So we've got 12 on food, 9 on wood. And at this point I want to send my scout out to look for the enemy's base. I probably could have sent it out a little bit earlier too, but I just found my last sheep. So I just set waypoints around the map, as you can see. And here's an enemy scout. It doesn't go all the way for our town center. I guess sometimes the AI is smart about that, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they just run up and start attacking the town center. And we're about 60-70% of the way to feudal age, so I want to start building a barracks forward. And I put it on the woods in order to use it as part of a wall. This is downtime where I probably could have been following my cavalry or paying more attention to that. And just got some idle villagers. They finished the sheep, so I want to build farms around my town center and around my mill. And I want to get this villager to start building a stable, I believe. And I should probably take a villager off berries to build the stable faster if I'm going for scouts and knights. So there's the enemy camp. As soon as I find it, I want to send my scout around it in circles, kind of just like mine, to find their camps for raiding. Like I saw that they just finished berries, but I want to find out where their gold mines are, where their lumber camps are. And I got housed, so I'm setting this guy to build some houses. And meanwhile, because I'm housed anyway, I just decide to research loom at the town center, have stronger villagers. And I'm starting to make scouts already. And I found some of the enemy's sheep, so I send them back over towards my mill. And then I found some more of my enemy's sheep. And I send those back as well. So here's a first scout out. I'm building out some other scouts now. Getting ready to go on a raid with these scouts. Meanwhile, I've got my original scout exploring. I think I might have set him at auto explore at this point. I like using those scouts for auto explore just because it helps fill in the whole map so you can find relics and resources and stuff, and you don't have to micro the scout the whole time. I like microing it at the start, but it starts to be a hassle after a while. So I'm building this house wall to make sure that I don't get housed again anytime soon, and to, you know, have the effect of having a wall. So now we have scouts out, we have a mass of them, so 3 or 4 I think is enough to harass the enemy. And we're building houses there for another house wall there. I want to use this villager to build a palisade gate and finish off with palisade walls over towards that tree line. And now we can start harassing the enemy with our scouts. Build a farm there with the villager. Put these villagers on the sheep that we got for free. Free food. Alright, and the AI built a tower forward, so I definitely want to avoid that spot. They do have some skirmishers up already. The cavalry are good against skirmishers. They're not so good against these spearmen. So I just want to retreat them away from the skirmishers and the spearmen. And I'm just going to set these waypoints to have them run around the enemy's base and look for a vulnerable spot to start raiding, start killing villagers. Meanwhile, I want to keep track of my economy, I want to finish those walls, I want to build other buildings. My cavalry get a little bit distracted attacking houses for no good reason. But then I find a nice juicy lumber camp here. So I start attacking the villagers just to get them off the wood. I take a few hits from spears, and I lose one cavalry there. So I probably stayed longer than I should have, but that's alright. And then I just put in one hit to get those villagers off that wood line for now. Meanwhile, I'm building my blacksmith back at home. I think I probably would have wanted to click up to castle already, but I didn't have a blacksmith, so I couldn't do it yet. You don't need the blacksmith, you just need 2 feudal age buildings. But that was my second feudal age building. So now I just checked the economy. I retreated these scouts just to get them away from the enemy spearmen before I go back to raiding. Probably could have left them somewhere closer to their town. And I got my other scout is just like running past their lumber camps right now. I wonder if he's going to get harassed by any military. But he runs away. So we found that they're building another wood line out here, which is pretty far forward. And so I want to send my scouts to go harass there. But the villager, by the time I get there, is already gone. And it's slightly within range of the tower. But I remember where I see that they're building a mine there, so there's going to be villagers there that I can hit. I see some idle villagers here. I want to send them over to mine stone, just so I can get an early castle once I go to the castle age. And there's the mine. I don't mind taking, a couple of pot shots from the tower. The cavalry are quick, so the tower is likely to miss anyway. But I find these villagers just hanging out, so I commit to hitting them. And as soon as I start taking shots and the spearmen get close, I want to run those cavalry away. The nice thing about doing these little raids is it keeps the AI distracted, so that they're not bothering with me because they have more important things to deal with close to their homes. Meanwhile, I want to finish walling off. And we're researching the castle age now. Once we do that, we're also starting to research some other things. So horse collar at the mill, double bit axe at the lumber mill, and a blacksmith tech for attack on cavalry. And we get one villager or two there. And now, even though I am raiding, you can see that the AI has committed some of their forces to raid my base before I get my wall up. This is no problem. I just want to garrison all these villagers that are out there in the cold. And the AI is not super smart in this case. They just march right up to the town center where they'll get shot to pieces. And I want to garrison all those villagers. I don't want any to die. And I send my cavalry to clear out those skirmishers. Meanwhile, they're attacking this side of things. They're attacking my barracks, but they're just using spearmen and skirmishers, which aren't going to do a lot of damage to buildings. I outnumber that spearman with my cavalry to bring it down, and then I send my villagers back to work and clear out that last skirmisher. And then I'm going to want to finish that wall. Then I can use my cavalry to come attack these skirmishers. I also had knights building in this stable, which I just released onto the unsuspecting skirmishers, and now they're running away scared. I also started building men-at-arms to counter the spearmen. So if you're getting attacked, don't panic, just react like you need to. Keep your villagers safe, start building whatever you need, because it's going to take the enemy a while to actually do damage. Meanwhile, I need to finish off walls on this side, because right now they can just walk into the base. But I'm using the knights to chase down this skirmisher, try to get a kill there. And then I can use them to disrupt these villagers on the stone mine. Get a kill. and my enemy just advanced the castle age. So I had a slight advantage there with knights. And I decided to build a town center out on that wood line near those deer to get some free food and wood. I have enough knights and scouts to be able to take on spearmen. It's still not a great matchup, but if you can bring them down fast enough, they can't do much damage. And I can still use those cavalry to harass villagers. More harassment. And they just upgraded their spearmen to pikemen. So I'm just going to run those guys away. That scout's still scouting. But I decided to delete part of the wall to send out villagers. Time to go raiding again. And my forces are running a bit low. This whole time I probably should be training more scouts, more knights. Once I start microing my military, I get kind of distracted from actually managing the economy, but also just producing more military, which is what I should be doing this whole time. So I should just like constantly be replenishing these cavalry units with more as they get killed, but you live and you learn. Some more villagers there. Idle villagers. Got some idle villagers up here. Want to send more to get these deer. And I also want to produce villagers out of this town center, and I just sent them to chop wood because it's right next to it. And then I decided to take the villagers off the wood and start building a castle over there because it's on a little cliff top. Only now do I get to finishing off this wall. And I want to build a monastery here. It would make sense to build a monastery inside the walls. But then I have these gate builders build some farms. Want to keep the economy going. Another thing I could be doing better is just constantly training villagers out of both town centers. It'd be nice to have another town center, actually. Then I want to get monks, pick up that relic, start picking up other relics. Right now it looks like all 5 are on the map. But the AI, as we can see, is training a monk right now, so they're going to start picking up relics soon. I didn't know that in the game, of course. There's our first monk. We didn't get challenged while we were building that castle. And that's going to be a nice defensive position from which we can raid these villagers here with near impunity. And I start building a siege workshop. So the AI is going to try to come stop us now that they know what we're doing. But we get the siege workshop out, and those enemy spearmen near our castle aren't going to last very long. So there's another monk. We can see a town center that the AI made down there. And I could use with more gold miners right now, is what I'm realizing in retrospect as well. I should have more on gold. I should have probably put a town center down here over by that gold and stone and wood. And that would have been another town center inside my walls, which would have been very nice. And I got a couple siege rams up, or just battering rams, rather. And I'm going to send them to take out that tower. There we go. More monk shenanigans with knights getting converted. I kept a villager inside the ram to be able to repair them. I don't know how well I actually use them, but I'm using these knights to sort of distract their military away from the rams. They do have a knight there. So there I go, I start repairing that ram. But I think it's going to go down. There it goes. And then he starts attacking the villager. So I send him back to the castle. I think he gets killed. And I want the rams to do more damage, so I send those rams against the enemy barracks. And I have some knights coming to assist. I'm building cataphracts out of my castle to deal with those pesky pikemen. And there are some cataphracts. And there are 3 monks trying to convert them, and they get 1 of them. I start sending my monks forward after we've cleared all the relics off the map. And these monks are actually going to come quite in handy, because I start doing some conversion shenanigans of my own. So I see monks, I should be targeting those monks, keep them from converting. Fortunately, the light cavalry has resistance, but a different monk got that cataphract. And I decided to put a mine down on the stone there. I just converted a villager. So now that I got this group of monks, one thing I'm going to want is theocracy from the monastery, so that you can convert quickly and make multiple conversions with a single group. I don't know when I pick that up, though. It's probably not for a while. And I think I'm building another castle, it looks like, over by the stone. Put up a market. Those cataphracts got a little distracted there. And I really want to deal with those monks, because I hate getting converted like this. Of course, it doesn't make much sense to just charge them, but I did build some light cavalry, because they're monk resistant. So I had those chasing them down. I'm building more light cavalry in case there are more monks. I'm building more cataphracts. I decided to get more gold miners over there. The stone's out there, so I send them over to mine some gold. There was an idle villager for a long time. I build more monks, send them forward. And I'm researching the Imperial Age while the opponent is still in the Castle Age. They're harassing my villagers, but my castle's helping them out. And I start using my own monks to convert. I don't think they'd pick one off just yet, but before too long, my monks are helping out. I have cataphracts, so I don't mind attacking the enemy. I want to send the light cavalry after the monk to kill it. Of course, I lose it to the town center. I move my monks forward now, along with my cataphracts and light cavalry. And I convert a knight. Got 6 idle villagers somewhere that I should really deal with. They start building a town center down here, which seems very unwise. I love this. This monk is getting hit by the pikemen, but these monks are healing him up anyway. But with enough monks, you can last quite a while. Same here, we got one monk healing that monk, and he's immortal to the spearmen. And then I got a trebuchet out to attack their town center. All I need to do is keep the trebuchet safe from the enemy. I got my monks converting their knights. It's a good distraction. This game made me want to use monks a little bit more often. I tend to just get relics and then not really use the monks, but they are handy to have to heal your own units throughout a fight and in between fights. Yeah, so then I use these trebuchets, pack them up. I want to go attack the other town centers. And those trebuchets are going to town on that center. Destroy their military buildings. And they got one more town center, so I want to send my trebuchets over that way. Still got 6 idle villagers somewhere. But those trebs are really getting their money's worth of destruction. Now my cavalry are trying to clean up all those villagers that are running around. Okay, there we go. We finally got those idle villagers done. Then more of them start. So at this point, we've already raided the enemy's base. We just want to hunt down their last villagers until they abdicate, like you just saw. Alright, let's leave map and have a look at some statistics. So you can see I won in military, economy, technology, society, and total score. Let's have a look at the military. I killed 215, I lost 75. That seems pretty good. I converted 13 to the enemy's 7. My largest army was 26, so I never had that big of an army, but I had the units that counted. I collected more of everything except wood. The AI always collects more wood than me. I think they really heavily prioritize those, which makes sense because they tend to build a lot of defensive units like spearmen and skirmishers. Time-wise, I beat them to every age, which is really good. So I'm pretty proud of this one. I didn't research as much as I should have. I think I stopped using my blacksmith, which is a mistake. You could definitely do more. I didn't have the villager high, but we were neck and neck. I was only one shy, and I did have 4 of the relics, which helped a lot too. And here's a look at the timeline. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any tips for me, or any comments, or questions, requests, recommendations, anything at all, please leave a comment. If you liked, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!